chapter 3, then I quote from Professor Haynes. Rawlings's political legacy divides Ghanaians. Some regard him as a reprehensible military dictator who presided over a lengthy period of significant political oppression and curtailment of freedoms involving disappearances and incarceration of opposition figures, substantial media oppression, and societal culture of silence. That is one hand. Then on the other hand, large number of Ghanaians today regard Rawlings as a national hero. He is widely known as Junior Jesus, Papa Jerry, second only to Kwame Nkrumah in national estimation, for saving the country from economic ruin in the 1980s, preventing the country becoming a failed state, facilitating democratization, and enabling the country's economic development. So I think this is the center of the whole thing. To be sincere with you, President Rawlings is an important element in Ghanaian politics. You can't just dismiss him. And if you talk about, okay, you could see that his legacy divides Ghanaians as he states it. If you look at even the area of economy, what he did in the 1980s, resolving Ghana's economy and preventing Ghana from becoming a failed state, many people will agree with you. Maybe some few may disagree, because even I engaged someone briefly here who is here in this auditorium, who thinks that in the beginning he still supports Rawlings. But going to the IMF, he disagrees with him. He doesn't support him for going to the IMF. To be sincere with you, he was a socialist person. He was aligned to the East, aligned to the socialist economic system. But when it came to a point that where he was heading to was not helping the country, was not helping to resolve the reason why he staged his coup, he has to make a U-turn. And in making the U-turn, it hurt some of the people within his inner cycle. It hurt him, it hurt some people. And by the way, he was able to make it. But even before, let me give you another quote here from President Rawlings. He said, "I am not an expert in economics, and I am not an expert in law, but I am an expert in working on an empty stomach while wondering when and where the next meal will come from. I am going to prove to you today that it is no longer a question of the Akan against the Ewe, the Gan against the Nodna, but the question of those who have against those who have not. The question of the vast majority of hungry people against a very tiny minority of greedy, inhuman, selfish senior officers, politicians, businessmen, and a bunch of bank managers, and a bunch of cowardly Lebanese who will not stay in their country to fight for their cause." This is from Nugent, 2010, and I took it from page 49. So you could see that someone said, Nkrumah's idea was that seek ye first the political kingdom, and all other things shall be added unto you. Rawlings was looking at the economy, because part of the reason for which he staged his coup was that the economy was suffering. There were challenges there. He wanted people, the leaders, to actually resolve some of these problems, they couldn't resolve. So the economy and people being hungry was something that was driving him. And going the east, he wasn't finding solution. He wasn't getting the solution. So being a pragmatic person, he made a U-turn, which hurt some people from within. And of course, so you could see that even within his own party or his own inner cycle, some people didn't agree with him. So whatever it is, and even going to the west, it was said that it was from internal and external opposition. So you could see that the opposition was so much everywhere he turns. That was what it is. So if you talk of even the economy, people are divided as to even, okay, it's good, he resolved, even if you look at the economic growth, data for economic growth, within his tenure of office, you could see that the data tells you that, yes, things became better. But the argument is that the way he should go? Yes, of course. Being a pragmatic person, that is what he did to resolve or to address that.